What's good, everybody? It's your boy Mike Mills back with another video. Today I want to talk to you guys real quick about money, but how you should view money while sailing as a merchant mariner. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on with my life. I don't know if I'll be back on a ship or if I'll be company or if I'm going to be going to do completely different things. You know what I'm saying? I still sell my oils and stuff like that, but that's kind of what's going on right now. I don't know exactly what's going on. But right now I do still have a little bit of tidbit I want to talk to you guys in regarding like being a merchant mariner, living your life as a merchant mariner, and making money as a merchant mariner. My biggest thing is I get a lot of comments asking about like, oh yeah, what's the best ships to make money? What's oh, you made this much money as a wiper. Oh, I wish I made that much money as a wiper. How can I do this? How can I do that in the entry level position? And it took me a long time to learn this myself. Like, don't get me wrong, but the moment it clicked, it was so obvious. You know what I'm saying? Don't chase ships, chase the position. Like I've said this in previous videos, but a lot of people still come like, oh yeah, how'd you make this much as a wiper? How did you make this much as an SU? I'm only making this much as you. What ships were you on? This and that. And mind you, in the greater scheme of things, especially if you're in a wiper or a decked OS position, in the entry level position, all that's irrelevant. How much you make is irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. Yes, of course, you want to be able to pay your bills, this and that. But that's still the first, especially if you're already in the department that you want to be in, whether it be jet deck or engine, your first 6 months is irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you want to make your money. You want to do that. But the money you make in those positions is whatever. Because the main goal is to get your sea time, move up to the next position. Once you move up, once you get the EU and AB or Oiler and AB positions, then you could be like, all right, let me start navigate. I want to really make the money. But the first 6 months of your career at all, especially if it's the beginning of your career, I wouldn't be pressed. You're going to make some money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was lucky I got on the ship. I was able to make decent money as a wiper. But some people, you're not going to be able to make that much money as a wiper. But what I learned a lot of time from the old heads, the people that have been around for a while, they always say, don't chase the ship, chase the position. Y'all, a lot of y'all come into my comments, y'all like worry about like, oh, what's the best ship to make money? And then if I ask you what's your position, I'm like, well, I wouldn't worry about the money right now. Just get the sea time, go to school, come back as the Oiler or AB. Then yeah, I then start like, okay, yeah, let me finagle. But even then, I'll go even further. None of these positions really matter up until you at least get to, they're called a CPO, but that's not, at least until you get the QMed positions. You know what I'm saying? That's reefer, electrician, DMAC, or like I said, in the deck department, that's like bosun mate, all that. But even deck department, it's kind of iffy. I wouldn't worry too much about that either until you get your license if you're in the deck department. AB is a good stopping point, and then getting your third mate and above. That's where I don't see a reason to go to bosun mate, bosun, all that as far as money wise. Because yeah, you might be able to make a little bit more money, but it's not like outrageously more. It gets different when you start hitting third mate and second mate. You know what I'm saying? But in the engine department, I wouldn't worry about wiper. I would barely worry about EU, but EU you still will make more money. You know what I'm saying? But I'll barely worry about EU on any ship. I wouldn't give a shit. But once you hit that reefer or you hit that electrician, DMAC, ET, you know what I'm saying? Those are the positions that I'm like, okay, I might sit at this position for a little bit while I'm getting the sea time to get my license. Those are the time like, okay, I want to be able to finagle like the ships. But in the very beginning, you're a wiper. I would not worry about what ship I'm on. You're a wiper. That's a temporary position, super temporary. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes like, and if the guy that commented that on one of my videos, if you're seeing this, I'm not coming at you or anything like that. It's just, I've noticed in general, especially if you guys are young, the young heads, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy. I used to be a young head, so it's wild. But anyways, y'all really press about like, oh, I want to make this money. I want to make it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, 6 months is nothing. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be a wiper for 6 months at most. That's how much you should be a wiper for. Nothing more than that. Maybe 7 months at most. If you plan on sailing for 5-10 years, 7 months is nothing. You know what I'm saying? 7 months as a wiper, Yeah, you can be making good money. You can making me making the lesser money, but you're still making money. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be pressed about how much you're making as a wiper at that time, because it's kind of irrelevant. Because that's such a temporary position, you shouldn't be worried about it. Yeah, I get it. Like, oh, I came out here to make all the money that I can. Cool, I understand that, but being worried about how much you're making in an entry level position is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Only because, like, it's a temporary position. No matter what, even if you found the best ship that a wiper can make money, or a best ship OS can make money, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you're trying to price out of that position. You're trying to get out of that position as soon as possible. As soon as your sea service letter says 180 days, see you later. You know what I'm saying? I would not care about that position, how much I'm making there. I just need to learn as much as I need to learn, and then do what I got to do. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you can't pay your bills, that's one thing. But if you're making enough to at least pay your bills and throw a little bit to the side, I wouldn't even, like I said, I wouldn't care. I'm just here, keep my head down, learn what I need to learn. As soon as that 6-month mark hit, I'm chucking deuces. And a lot of times you don't even need to be on a ship for 6 full months. Because the class gives you tea time. So let's say I'm not sure, don't hold me to it, but I'm not sure how much sea time the class gives you, but I know it gives you a little bit of sea time. So you might not even have to stay a full 6 months on the ship. You may be able to finagle like 4 months, you know what I'm saying, 5 months on the ship as a wiper. So even if the pay isn't that great, it's only 4 or 5 months, you know what I'm saying, as a wiper or an OS. Then once you finish that, make sure you go to school, and then you get your class, move up, and then your next ship, now you're making more money. Like I said, the first ships don't matter. Like, if you're worried about how much you're making on the first ships, this career is going to be long for you. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't worry about it. Again, I know it sounds counterproductive or counterintuitive, but like, the money you make, really, the money you make is irrelevant until you get to specific positions. That's how I see it for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, all this money, okay, cool. Yeah, I made 6 figures as a SU. I could have made 6 figures as a wiper. Yeah, that's all well and good, but those are still peon positions. I don't care how much I made here. I need to get to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Because if you keep pressing about, oh, I need to make this X amount of dollars here, and you start chasing ships, then you're going to be like, you're just going to make your career long. You're going to miss opportunities to learn at certain places because you're sitting there trying to chase different ships. You're going to miss opportunities. You're going to try to do different things that won't help you move up. You know what I'm saying? So there's so much shit that you got to think about. And if you keep it easy, I'm on the ship, not the best paying ship, or it could be a great ship, but I'm just here for the sea time. I'm not here for nothing else. Yeah, I make a little bit of money. As long as my bills are paid, I ain't worried about it. You know what I'm saying? And don't stress it. You'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? I understand people that got kids and this is like, oh, I need to make this amount of money because I have kids. I got to worry about this and that. But that's a different story. And I'm sorry, but even with that, I wouldn't be as pressed. I'll be like, shit, I'm not going to stress it. I'm going to be making this X amount of dollars. You know what I'm saying? If I can make more, I'll try to make more, but I'm not going to stress it, because if you're going to stress it, it's just going to make your time longer. All it is 6 months. I'm going to keep trying to punch that in your brain. If you plan on making this a career, 6 months is nothing. 6 months, that's all you need. And then as soon as you go to the captain or the purser, if you're with MSC, and then you ask them like, hey, how much sea time? They're going to ask for your sea service letter. Ask for your sea service letter. And then if you see 180 days, whether it be OS or engine department as a wiper, as soon as you see that, I ain't telling you to do that, but I'll medically non-fit off that ship immediately. Get the school set up with the detailer and be like, all right, yeah, I'm trying to go to school, blah, blah, blah. They'll set it up. Boom. Now you in school, pass the class, submit it to the Coast Guard, get your credential. Your next ship, you're making more money. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be so pressed about making the money right then, right now, that you're not seeing the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what I'm saying. Now, again, I don't want to say I'm not the best person to tell you this, but I think because of my experience of doing the wrong thing, I can tell you, hey, the opposite of what I did is the right way. Because if I really tried the way I was supposed to, You know what I'm saying? If I really tried my career the way I was supposed to, yeah, forget the fact that I got houses and all that stuff. Started business, forget all that. If I really tried in my career the way I was supposed to, moved up the way I was supposed to, right now, if I'm not an officer, I'd be right. I would have the seat time as an officer. And officers make way more money. Like, the moment you start making their money, that kind of pay, everything prior is irrelevant. That's what I kind of tell you guys. The moment like you start moving up, everything prior to that was irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I don't care. Like, just being an EU, once you become an oiler or engine utility, everything as a wiper, how much money you made as a wiper will become irrelevant to you. Unless you're just thinking about it all the time, which you shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Everything you made after that, because now your overtime rate's higher, everything's higher. So you're not working as hard to make the same amount. Even if you end up making the same exact amount as you did as a wiper on a decent ship, as an oiler, you're not working anywhere near as hard to make that same amount. Now, don't get me wrong, oilers do more work, but you don't have to put in as much hours to make the more money. You get what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, a lot of times I hear, or you guys ask me, like, oh yeah, what's the best ships to make money? What's the best ships to, who has the best overtime? This and that. I'm like, man, that's irrelevant, dude. Like, what position are you? If you say anything less than an AB or an oiler or a cook or whatever it is, then it's irrelevant. Who gives a shit? You know what I'm saying? Get to the position you need to get into the department you need to first, then start moving up. You know what I'm saying? Who gives a fuck about the money in the beginning? Because it's, like I said, it sounds counterintuitive, but it's, if you look at it that way, then be like, damn, okay, yeah, what do I need to learn? Boom, get all this shit done. Boom, I got this done. Now it's time to get to the next position. Once you get to that next position, then you be like, damn, why did I give a fuck about how much I was making there? Now I'm making way more money. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, bro. Like, yeah. All right? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to keep beating a dead horse, but I get that comment all the time. And this one, just I was like, oh my God, let me make a real video about this. So, but yeah. I hope everybody has a good day. Again, I don't know what's going on with my life. So, am I going to be getting back on a ship with MSC? I don't know. Am I going to be going to NOAA? I don't know. I got a couple other things that's going on. If that happens, great. If it doesn't, who knows what my life is going to be about. But I'm still going to make content for you guys in regarding being a merchant mariner. But like, just, I might not be on the ship right away yet. You know what I'm saying? But I hope everybody has a good day. Don't forget to hit that like and hit that subscribe. And then follow me on my other socials. Deuces.